for the block. They feel like Kevin and Robin and Rock'em and Tiggy and 40 be quiet. Niggas recording. You wanna talk of the dub and I'm housing that bitch. Bleed it to death. Beat on my niggas, then leave it to death. I been so good with this shit. Do you live it to die? All them niggas bereaving your steps. Mama, I just wanna shine. Pussy ass nigga gon' lean on the breath. Nigga, I woke up this morning feeling like I don't be needing myself. I'ma get bigger than who kid? Who can go harder than Mac? Put that Lizanne in my back. I'ma go harder though, Look at the martyr go. Smoking the artichoke. Did what you wanna, ain't did what you wanna. They this in the Carter folk. I'ma flip me a bitch in the morning, no. I'ma flip me a bitch in the morning, no. I'ma
Peace out, leaving home just to change my phone plan. Hello, I'm switching from my sofa.
Skip. Oh, I can't skip it.
All I ever heard was they called him Black Panther, they called him Black Jesus and all some stuff. So I want to see wow.
Little advice from the master.
But what happened is that he wound up becoming a big brother.
He's learned a lot in a short amount of time he's been in the league, and believe me, he's going to continue to learn.
He was the closest thing to Michael Jordan that we saw. I'll tell you, that was impressive. He's impressive. You know Michael Jordan is impressed with that. Kobe Bryant has sent a message that he is the future.
Listen, I can pinpoint things before they actually happen. Last year, I would go through games where everything was like a blur. I can see things a lot more than I could last year.
Bryant's minutes are up, his scoring is up, and he's upgraded his defense.
Now the 19-year-old veteran is making the types of impression that
that's off. Well, I gotta start shooting these better, bro. I'm gonna get to a jet.
And much more.
To shoot early.
Thanks to Mom Nature, and 10 pounds thicker after frequent trips to the weight room in the off-season.
You had Mr. Brute Force and Shaq, and you had that aerial artistry of the younger Kobe.
I should have held that longer. I probably would have got fouled.
Going to be greater than MJ one day.
When you talk about the bridging of the two generations between Michael Jordan and then to Kobe Bryant, the players today talk about Kobe Bryant being their Michael Jordan.
He, not LeBron, is the closest player to stylistically Michael Jordan.
Oh, look out! Ride him, cowboy! Kobe Bryant! Hold a pitch in the head and fly it by himself.
Yeah, I'm one of those folks.
Extreme winners that literally, to the exclusion of everything else, including their family, including, other people, focused on just one thing.
Yeah, nobody works harder. That's why they love to win in an almost psychotic way.
That's one of the reasons why Shaq, as he would say, tried to slap him, is because he was so cocky about what his intentions were.
You guys had a fight several weeks ago. Did he connect on the punch you threw?
No. No, I was swift on the duck.
Team that
Who's the best player you ever played with?
Kobe.
Number 8.
Definitely Kobe. Kobe just different. Works hard. Getting to the gym at about 5. Working on his jab steps, head fakes, making sure everything's perfect.
Ah, yep, here it goes. A minute and 30 seconds.
Kobe in his career had 40.
Yeah, no, I definitely did that. Yeah.
Suns by 1. They're going to take it off the dribble. This is it now. Game's on the line. You're down 1. And Kobe Bryant at the point.
Ah, no, he ain't that.
Pulls up for shot.
Yeah. Ah, this is good. It does for me. So sad. You trying to do this?
This team to be in the postseason.
We're going to the finals.
Series is tied at 3 games apiece. This afternoon, it's put up or shut up.
Yet they have lost 3 times this year, once in the regular season and twice in this series, to the Trailblazers on their home floor. The greatest duo to me, Shaq and Kobe. Those were co-stars. They needed each other to be as great as they were.
Well, the first thing that the Lakers have to realize is they've got 12 minutes to play. It's only a 13-point game.
Not anymore. Steve Smith hits on the run and it's 15.
I don't think he goes to after Shaq.
There by Shaq.
I should have appreciated it more. And Shaq is of the mindset, I should have appreciated you more too.
Smacked down emphatically. Kobe Bryant into the lane.
The fight for
He inserted this, the offense. Now Kobe gives it the 2-point lead. But I think
Yes, sir.
both of them look back
I gotta stop.
fondly and miss a little bit of what they did have. 1 minute, 3 timeouts left.
No, sir. Oh, wow. I should have put a clear defense on it. And scored on it. Swing me the ball. Oh. I just put on some custom settings. I forgot. Come on, this one got a bang. Ah. Oh, taking this.
Has been sensational throughout the playoffs, but more importantly, first team all defense. Now he's going to be playing 4 different Pacers, but everybody's going to be waiting for that glamour matchup: Kobe versus Reggie.
Here is Kobe. Exploding to the hoop. He is without question one of the 10 best players in the history of the league. Kobe Bryant cuts it to 3. Doesn't take him long to get into the lane and hangs in the air.
They really appreciated that competitive fire. It was that ability to sort of let it rip.
Kobe Bryant. Crossing over Jalen Rose.
Not care if anybody said you're too selfish, you took too many shots. Like, he's like, well, I think I'm the best option.
Misses it. Shaw grabs the rebound.
That's a loose ball foul on Shaq. That'll be number 6. What a big play!
That's it.
Shaq goes down. All of a sudden you step up. These are the kind of moments that you look for, I think.
3 years later in the NBA Finals, that same move that I was showing them in my step back.
Reggie.
Game 3 after Shaq fouled out.
Step back.
Let me just say, this is where you get a true epic look into
Yep.
Hits the jumper and then sort of gives it, take your time, everything's cool. I'm not going to let us lose this shit.
As he's running down the court, pass me on the button. You never should have showed me that step back.
Shot clock at 12.
You don't want to foul now because you got one to give. They won't shoot free throws.
Followed in by Kobe Bryant.
Oh, I can shoot with that.
Take the whole game and just puts it on the show.
Oh, I forgot. Dang. What am I gonna post up with? A D minus, good. Googly moogly.
Shaq and Kobe, and they were co-stars who, in the end, they needed each other, Stephen A.
I think I would. If I didn't have you, I would have probably, warm my body out and just try to get ready, just try to get it back together.
Instead of basically getting surgery, Shaq opted to say basically, I got hurt on company time. I'm on rehab on company time. You didn't like that.
No, I didn't sit you because, I'm out there killing myself in summertime trying to get ready, and then you can't. Don't do that. Then come back and complain about not getting ball. Everything went through me. The outcome was good. The big dog and me in the house when they guarded.
Shaq comes in, he's out of shape.
Listen, I got beat up. I got happy Shaq. I was tired, man. I ain't supposed to no work. I'm going home, I'm swimming. Me and Uncle Jerome, we sipping pina coladas, we eating burgers. My ass is in the gym 10 hours a day.
No, that's right. No, that's right.
Particularly fond of being Shaq's teammate. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Hey, he has to do Stephen A like that.
Just kind of level off my play. Just do the same thing I did last year. And I'm not going to do that. I work too hard. And I improve as a basketball player every day. And I want to show that I improve.
He'd be there an hour, 2 hours before everybody. And he would show up at these practices, and he was fully sweated out. Like he just done 3 hours of working out before anybody did anything.
I did your conditioning, and I'll take 800 shots, and I'll go to practice, and I'll take 800 after.
And then you watch Shaq, and he's the opposite, and yet you guys are aligned.
What's up, Tim Sykes, Millionaire Mentor Trader, here with $10,000. A lot of you think you need $10,000 to get started in the stock market. That's nonsense! That's ridiculous! You don't need that much to really make it in the stock market. Click the link, just put...
Anyway.
Capacity crowd, but about 20,000 on hand. The 76ers starting lineup just introduced to the crowd.
There's people like that, man, and you can hate on them. You don't want to note this crazy Kobe Bryant motherfucker getting up at 4 in the morning, you know, doing deadlifts like shit. I want to sleep.
Kobe has the same mindset and mentality that MJ had. The assassin. I'm going to rip your throat out with my scoring.
He never took a play off, and he played hard on both sides of the court. He didn't take rest on defense.
Many people confuse the fact that he wants to beat you scoring. His preparation to win is as good as anybody's, ever.
A lot of talking going on there right now. I think you're going to see the referee step in and separate the two players.
Kobe will do whatever you ask him to do to win, whether it be play defense. He just wants to win.
I'm not denying the genius of Michael Jordan. I'm saying Kobe Bean Bryant, in my estimation, Kobe Bryant was the greatest basketball player.
Wow. Kobe Bryant. What hustle, Bryant. Low and peasy afro, Kobe. Yeah, Shaq and Kobe. I'll say it again.
Shaq and Kobe.
Finger and won a championship, had to rotate the ball off of the broken finger.
The celebration has begun on the Laker bench. And the Los Angeles Lakers will make it a second straight NBA crown to finish with a 15-1 run. It's an actual discussion you can have now.
Oh, I said it a year and a half ago. No way in the world would I ever put anybody in the conversation with Michael Jordan. But Kobe Bryant is there.
Question, is he the next Michael Jordan? The question's been answered. He's it. And analytics is it they're just getting started.
We're going to get another one next year. Again. Back to back to back.
That's how you have to be if you want to be a winner. There's just no way around it. You got to swish. Holla, that's why I get the money. Holla, look at my mansion.
Loves a sword, slicing gently through my body, burn so sweet. Blood bullets.
There was a way to handle Shaquille O'Neal and extend the winning with Shaquille O'Neal. I don't think that was handled well.
We're all waking up every day trying to be, above average or something. And this guy was waking up every day wanting to be the greatest basketball player to ever touch the earth.
Complicated shots, shooting over taller opponents. Footwork with extraordinary grace, the elan vital of the athletic balladry.
Shaq left side to Horry, looking for Kobe to get some space against George Lynch.
Kobe Bryant has a case to be the best basketball player that has ever lived. And yes, you heard me correctly. It's time for me to put the haters of Kobe Bryant to rest.
Batman, 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 what? Batman, Batman, yeah, Batman, yeah, Batman, yeah, Batman, Batman, hey, Batman, Batman, what? Mr. Never use a gap, man, yeah, never turns like a Batman.
Now, before we get into this video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you love basketball content and just NBA content in general, it definitely goes a long way. Now, before we start breaking down Kobe Bryant's case for being the best basketball player ever, let's discuss why this video even needed to be made. Well, it's quite simple. If you look at the media, if you follow any type of mainstream sports, and even just fans in general, it seems like Kobe Bryant is criminally underrated. People say things like, you know what, he's barely top 10, he's around top 7, and he has no case to even be top 5. People say weird and strange things about Kobe Bryant every single day. So, this is why this video needs to be made. Now, I will be breaking down Kobe Bryant's case to be the best basketball player ever in 7 different categories. And in each of these categories, I will break down why Kobe Bryant is at the top, or at least nearly the top, of every category. Now, these categories are as follows: scoring ability, clutchness, defense, longevity, competition faced, championships, and accomplishments. These are the 7 categories that I will be using to make the case that Kobe Bryant is the best or greatest basketball player of all time, whichever word or term you prefer to use. Now, first up, let's start off by breaking down Kobe Bryant's scoring ability. Kobe Bryant, in his career, scored at least 30 points in 431 games. That is the 5th most in NBA history, and that is 32% of the total games that he's played. He has scored over 40 points in 122 games. That's the 3rd most all-time, 2nd most in the modern era, behind only Michael Jordan. And that's also more 40-point games than KD and LeBron combined. In terms of 50-point games, Kobe Bryant has accomplished this 25 times in his career. That is the 3rd most ever, also the 2nd most in the modern era, and that is more than LeBron, Kevin Durant, Shaq, Tim Duncan, and Dirk combined. In terms of 60-point games, Kobe Bryant had 6 of these, and that is the 2nd most all time. Here's a little known fun fact. Through the of these, and that is the 2nd most all time. Here's a little known fun fact. Through the 2006 and 2007 NBA seasons, Kobe Bryant recorded 4 60-point games in just these 2 seasons. For context, that is the same amount of 60-point games that LeBron, Curry, Carmelo, and Iverson have combined in their careers. Now, if that wasn't impressive enough for you already to prove that he's one of the best scorers ever, perhaps this will. Kobe Bryant has scored the 4th most points ever in NBA history. He has also scored the 4th most points ever in the playoffs. For the entire decade of the 2000s, so from 2000 until 2010, Kobe Bryant was the leading scorer with 21,065 points. He also averaged the most points in this decade with 28.2. Kobe Bryant was also the leading scorer in the postseason for the 2000s decade with 4,053 points. In terms of the NBA Finals, Kobe Bryant was 2nd in total points scored with 737 points. But wait, there's more. Kobe Bryant, in the last 20 years, had the 2nd longest streak of 30-point games with 16 games in a row, and that was back in 2003. He went on a 16-game streak of at least 30 points. Still not sold that he's one of the best scorers ever? Kobe Bryant is tied for the most consecutive 40-point games in the modern era with 9 games. Oh. Yes, you heard me correctly. Kobe Bryant went on a 9-game streak of at least 40 points. In terms of scoring the basketball, there's only one player in NBA history that I would seriously acknowledge is a better scorer than Kobe Bryant, and that would be Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
but in terms of everything else, or anyone else, Kobe Bryant is without a doubt the 2nd best scorer in NBA history. Now let's move on to talking about Kobe Bryant in the clutch. Now this part is going to be important because the media is constantly attacking Kobe Bryant and making the claim that he was an overrated player in the clutch, and they use things like buzzer beaters to discredit and make the claim that Kobe Bryant wasn't clutch. But how clutch was he actually? For starters, Kobe Bryant has the most game-winning shots of any player ever in NBA history with 37 game-winning shots made. When you combine regular season and playoffs, Kobe Bryant has hit 8 buzzer beaters in his career. That is second most all-time, only to Michael Jordan. In addition to this, Kobe Bryant has the record for most points scored in a fourth quarter in a season with 715. That was back in 2006. Kobe Bryant, for his entire career, attempted 139 shots in the last 2 minutes of close playoff games. And in those situations, he shot 43.2% on those shots. That's better than Tim Duncan did for his career, LeBron, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. Just how good was Kobe Bryant under pressure during his peak? Well, Kobe Bryant's peak in his career was from 2006 until 2010. And when facing elimination in these seasons, Kobe Bryant put up 30.5 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 1.7 steals, 0.8 blocks, and he shot 45.9% from the field, 38.3% from three, 83.1% from the free throw line, and had a true shooting percentage of 57%. He also had a record of 13-6 in these elimination situations. Now let's take a look at how Kobe Bryant in his peak performed in close playoff games. So the NBA defines clutch as final 5 minutes, score within 5. Kobe Bryant shot 43.6% from the field in these situations. In the final 2 minutes, score within 3, Kobe Bryant shot a ridiculous 58.3% from the field. So clearly, Kobe Bryant at his peak is one of the most clutch players the NBA has ever seen. Now maybe you feel like that's too small of a sample size, using just 2006, 2010. Well, okay then, fair enough. Let's take a look at Kobe Bryant in the clutch from the year 2000 until 2010. So basically the entire prime of his career. Screen, I have every single stat you could possibly want. Now for the sake of time, I'm not going to just read all of this, but feel more than welcome to just pause the video and read these statistics, because these are mind-blowing and definitely eye-opening numbers to really just give you an idea just how clutch Kobe Bryant truly was. Now last up, and this is just for comparison's sake, this is not a Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James video.
There we go.
But on the screen, I have almost their entire careers in the clutch, all their stats shown right here. And Kobe Bryant just completely obliterates LeBron in almost every single stat or category, which just proves that Kobe Bryant was far more clutch than LeBron. Next up, I'm going to be breaking down Kobe Bryant as a defender, and I'm going to explain to you how Kobe Bryant is simply one of the best on-ball perimeter defenders the game of basketball has ever seen. For starters, Kobe Bryant made the all-defensive team 12 times in his career, 9 of which were first team, which is tied for first most all-time, along with Kevin Garnett, Michael Jordan, and Gary Payton.
Of course.
A lot of you might be thinking, well, all defensive teams are media-voted award, they're very overrated, doesn't actually mean much. Well, that's where you'd be wrong. Prior to the year 2014, all his career, 9 of which for first team, which is tied for first most all-time, along with Kevin Garnett, Michael Jordan, and Gary Payton. Of course. A lot of you might be thinking, well, all defensive the 10 best defenders in the NBA by opposing coaches. That holds a lot more weight than just some media voting award. Kobe defensively was good enough to guard any 1, 2, or 3. Him being 6'6" doesn't really allow him to guard bigger players. But his lateral quickness and ability to pressure the ball handler made him elite at stopping pretty much any player positions 1 through 3. He's done a great job of defending players such as Reggie Miller, Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo, Paul Pierce, and many others, including LeBron James. The only true weakness that Kobe Bryant had on defense was sometimes he liked to gamble a little bit too much in the passing lanes, for example. But when it comes to getting a stop or stopping an elite scorer, Kobe Bryant was certainly capable of that at the highest level. Prior to the 2008-2009 NBA season, the GM survey was released. One question that was asked is, who is the best defensive player in the NBA? Well, not surprisingly, Kobe Bryant ranked third, only trailing Ron Artest and Kevin Garnett. They were then asked, who is the best perimeter defender in the NBA? And Kobe Bryant had the second most votes with 25.9%, only behind Bruce Bowen. And last but certainly not least, they were also asked, who is the best all-ball defender in the NBA? And not surprisingly, Kobe Bryant ranks number 1 with 26.9% of the vote. So both coaches and GMs in the NBA, while Kobe was in his prime, believed that he was among the best defenders in the game of basketball. Now finally, what do the people who actually played against Kobe Bryant say about his defense? In the 2009-2010 NBA season, Sports Illustrated polled 173 NBA players and asked them the question, who is the best defender in the NBA? In first place, Ron Artest. In second place, Kobe Bean Bryant. So when it comes to how great of a defender Kobe Bryant was, GMs, coaches, and the people who actually played against Kobe Bryant will tell you he's one of the best defenders in NBA history. Another factor into Kobe Bryant's case as the best basketball player in NBA history is his elite longevity. And let me say that one more again for the people in the back. His elite
20 years.
longevity. Kobe Bryant entered the league in the year 1996 and he retired in the year 2016. He played 20 years in the NBA. In fact, Kobe Bryant is the only guard in NBA history to have played 20 years in the NBA. In addition to this, Kobe Bryant had a very, very extended or long prime. His prime was from the year 2000 until the year 2013.
Yep.
A 13-year prime. To put that into perspective, Michael Jordan only played 13 seasons with the Chicago Bulls. So in other words, Kobe Bryant's prime
was his whole
as Michael Jordan's entire Chicago Bull career.
Dang.
Now let's take a look
Jordan
at
should
some
retire.
longevity statistics for Kobe Bryant. And then let's compare them to every single shooting guard in NBA history. Among shooting guards, Kobe Bryant is first all-time in total points scored. He's first in total rebounds. He's second in assists, only behind Clyde Drexler by about 4 assists. He's third in steals. He's fourth among all shooting guards in total blocks, first in field goals made, first in free throws made, and he's eighth among all shooting guards in three-pointers made. He's also, not to mention, fourth all-time in total points scored in NBA history. Now, to give you some perspective of just how long and how elite Kobe Bryant's prime was, listen to this. Kobe Bryant's prime was from the year 2000 until the year 2013, when he did tear his Achilles. Now, during this stretch, only twice did Kobe Bryant average less than 25 points per game. That would be the year 2000 and the year 2004. Kobe Bryant averaged at least 25 points per game in 12 seasons in his career. To put that into perspective, Larry Bird only played 12 years in the NBA.
Dang.
Yet Kobe Bryant has 12 seasons of putting up 25 points per game, which is actually more than Larry Bird's entire career average, just so you know. Still not convinced that Kobe Bryant had elite longevity? Well, let's take a look at his 17th season in the league. Kobe Bryant in 2013, year 17, averaged more than 27 points per game. Ladies and gentlemen, that was second in the entire NBA, only to Kevin Durant. He was this close to winning a scoring title in year career 17. So when it comes to longevity, there's only really two players that you could realistically argue for in terms of having better longevity. And those names would be Kareem and LeBron James. But other than that, he had better longevity than every other player in NBA history, which greatly adds to Kobe Bryant's case as one of the best players ever. Now next up, let's talk about the competition that Kobe Bryant faced in his career. This is truly what separates Kobe Bryant from other greats in NBA history, because the fact of the matter is Kobe faced and defeated the best competition
he defeated
of any all-time great.
Not just
Kobe
face.
Bryant faced and defeated the most 50-win teams of any player in NBA history. He was 25-10 against 50-win teams. And take a look at this, just for some context. In just a 3-year span, from the year 2008 until 2010, every single team that made the playoffs won at least 50 games, with the exception of just 2. Yet Kobe Bryant made the finals still in all 3 of these seasons. Now next up, we're going to be taking a look at something called SRS. SRS stands for Simple Rating System. And what this
He's about to measure how hard he had it in the finals and the playoffs.
Is the difficulty of each championship or title run for any given team in any given season. It uses things such as the opponent's amount of wins, margin of victory, and SOS to determine how tough each championship run truly was based on their opponents. Now, all 5 of Kobe Bryant's championships rank in the top 16, with 4 of them being in the top 13. The average SRS was at its absolute highest on average during the 2000s, which is where Kobe Bryant won most of his championships, 4 out of 5 to be exact. So according to SRS, Kobe Bryant had an average of 18.86, which is second most of any all-time great player aside from Hakeem Olajuwon. Now moving on, let's talk about the defenses that Kobe Bryant had to face compared to his contemporaries or just other all-time greats in general. Now before I get into this, let me just explain what defensive rating is for a team. Defensive rating is basically how many points a team allows per 100 possessions on average. So the lower your defensive rating is, the better defensive team you are. Now, knowing that, let's take a look at the amount of playoff games that Kobe Bryant has played against sub-100 defensive rating teams. And if you total it all up, Kobe Bryant has played 65 playoff games against sub-100 defensive rating teams in his career, and he started in 56 of these games, which is still more than any other player you see listed. And in those games, he put up 27.6 points per game, 5.6 assists, 5.2 boards on 42, 30, and 80 shooting splits. Now let's take a look at Kobe Bryant in his peak against top 10 defenses. From 2006 until 2010, Kobe Bryant went 9-1 against teams with a top 10 defense. So in conclusion, when it comes to competition, not only did Kobe Bryant face the most 50-win teams, he beat the most 50-win teams. He had the second highest SRS among all-time greats, second only to Hakeem Olajuwon, and he played the most playoff games against sub-100 defensive rating teams. So in terms of competition, overall, I would say Kobe Bryant is in the best competition of any all-time great. Next up, when it comes to Kobe Bryant's GOAT case, we can't really make this case without discussing championships. Winning championships matters, regardless of what you want to believe or what others say. It's not just some random team accomplishment that doesn't hold any weight. Winning a championship shows that you have the ability, as a leader of a basketball team, to elevate your teammates into a winning situation. Some players are great players, but just aren't championship players. And some players are championship players. Some people just aren't the type to elevate their game come playoff time or NBA Finals time. Kobe Bryant in his career won 5 NBA championships. There are only 3 players in NBA history that can honestly say they have more championships than Kobe Bryant. And I'm only talking about all-time great players. Role players don't count in this discussion. And that would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, and Bill Russell. Kobe Bryant is one of the few people in NBA history that was able to win a championship as a second option as well as a first option. Michael Jordan never had to win a championship as a second option. and
Nope.
nor could he. LeBron James can't win a championship.
I mean, that's not a
as
bad
second
thing.
option, and nor could he. There are some players who are simply built to only be the first option.
Ah,
Kobe
okay,
Bryant
I
showed the
see.
ability to be both a first option and a second option, similar to how Steph Curry was able to do the same thing with Kevin Durant. That shows the versatility in Kobe Bryant's game. Magic Johnson never won a championship without Kareem. Kareem never won a championship without Oscar or Magic. Michael Jordan never won a championship without Scottie Pippen. But Kobe Bryant was able to win a championship without Shaq. In fact, he won 2 championships without Shaq and made 3 finals. Whereas Shaq couldn't win anything without Kobe or Wade.
True.
So Kobe Bryant proved that he could win a championship as the best player without Shaquille O'Neal. Kobe Bryant went to 3 finals in a row from 2008 until 2010 and won 2 championships back-to-back in 2009 and 2010. This is something that Tim Duncan never did in his career, and this is also something Larry Bird never did in his career. Neither one of them ever repeated as champions. They never successfully defended their own championship, whereas Kobe Bryant was able to do that in the toughest Western Conference the NBA has ever seen. Last but not least, let's take a look at some of the accomplishments in Kobe Bryant's career. Kobe Bryant won 5 championships in his career, as I mentioned earlier, and only 3 players can say they have more. Kobe Bryant is one of 4 players in NBA history to be selected to 15 All-NBA teams. He's one of 4 players to have ever been selected to first team All-Defense, and that is along with Gary Payton, Michael Jordan, Kevin Garnett, as well as himself. He's also tied for second most total all-defensive selections with 12. Not to mention, he's also one of 4 players in NBA history to have made first team All-NBA as well as first team All-Defensive 5 times in a row in the same season, from the year 2006 until the year 2011. Kobe Bryant has the most combined first team All-NBA and first team All-Defensive selections with 20. He made 9 times first team All-Defensive and 11 times first team All-NBA. 8 times Kobe Bryant was first team All-NBA while simultaneously
1996.
All-Defensive in the same season.
That's why you get the 96 in the back.
Kobe Bryant's amazing two-way ability. And that's the second most all-time, by the way. In the year 2006, Kobe Bryant won the scoring title by averaging 35.4 points per game.
Dang, 35.4 points a game.
He also was first.
That's almost up there with Jordan. He averaged 37 for a whole season.
Bryant has the most all-time with 4.
It's one of the highest not named,
He
I
was the
think.
youngest player to ever start an actual NBA game
Let me
in
see that
NBA
rock.
history at 18 years old.
Oh.
And he was also the youngest All-Star in NBA history at 19. He was also the oldest player to have ever scored 60 points in a game. Now, in conclusion, when it comes to Kobe Bryant, he was one of the best basketball players the game has ever seen. He has a case to be the best basketball player ever.
Okay, I'm just doing stuff.
Scorers ever, with some of the best skills we've ever seen
This is
in the history of basketball. Modeled his game after Michael Jordan. The
This is
footwork, the
post
shot
up.
making, the fadeaways, you name it.
Wait.
Kobe Bryant had it in his arsenal. There was simply no weakness to his game.
Ah,
In terms of clutchness,
this is shoot.
one player can say they were more clutch than Kobe Bryant, and that would be Michael Jordan. When it came to defense, despite what nerds may have told you, Kobe Bryant was one of the best on-ball perimeter defenders the game has ever seen. Only a few perimeter players can say they were better defenders than Kobe Bryant. His ability to stop and neutralize any player positions 1 through 3, especially point guards, was almost unmatched in the history of the game. His ability to pressure ball handlers and to stick real great D in crucial playoff games or playoff series is just sensational.
Here we go. There we go. Yes, sir. Trying to shoot with this L2 button. I don't know how that's gonna work out. First up. Oh, I like this.
In terms of competition, Kobe Bryant played the best comp of any all-time great in NBA history, especially in the Western Conference. There was never a time period in the league where one conference was as tough as the one Kobe Bryant played in. Kobe Bryant won 5 championships, and he was able to win as a second option and a first option, something that very few players can actually say they were able to do outside of Dwayne Wade and Steph Curry. 5 championships. Only 3 players can say they have.
Ah, how you miss that?
Jordan,
Okay, I'm taking this. No, I gotta play through it. Gotta learn how to.
Championships is concerned,
It's a mind trick.
he has more than everybody else in NBA.
Trying to remember all these
When it comes to
controls.
accomplishments, he's
Oh
one of the
yeah,
most
pulling that.
players in NBA
I gotta
history.
hold it longer.
He has so many All-NBA teams, so many All-Defensive selections, so many All-Stars, so many All-Star MVPs, tied for the most ever. When it comes to accomplishments, Kobe Bryant does not fall short at all in this category. Maybe only Kareem or LeBron can say they're more accomplished than Kobe Bryant. And there you have it. That is my case for Kobe Bryant.
There we go.
Best basketball player ever, or the GOAT, however you want to call it.
Goodbye, Roman fees that rack up overseas. Hello, automatic coverage when I'm exploring the world. Hello, Google Fi, a phone plan that can.
They left just before the action happened. Just trying to learn how to use these settings. There you go. That ain't my man anyway. I don't care.
Lying down saying, okay, the Lakers, you have it. Because everybody out here says the Lakers are by far the best team. Nobody can beat them.
I think there has been nobody better than Kobe Bryant. I think with the kind of will to win. Time 103. Now, you normally wouldn't be concerned about, but he's hit 2 in a row, so you better be cognizant of where that veteran is. Kobe's hands 8 to go.
Okay, let me turn this off. I can't play with this right now. Too big of a game. I'm not trying to be sticky. Give me that rock. Wow.
He was the most
Let me see this, bro. Go up in the air. How did you throw it off of his head? Bro, what? Boom.
Players nowadays don't dominate the box.
Oh, I gotta get his pass. I can see that.
You and MJ are 2 of the best at doing that.
We mentioned he gained 15
Throw through the ball at his head. I'm sleep. You gotta do something like this. Let me see that back. Let me see that back. Let me see that back. Money. Yes, sir. They shouldn't have left the live stream. I don't know what they were doing. They need to come back. Come back here, boy. Witness the greatness. We need to be full court pressing. Like, just think cause Mike. Just don't think cause Mike. I won't clamp you up. Yeah.
Whoa, my chomp card's here. What should my first purchase be? I bought a plan.
Kobe. Of course, I'm Kobe.
The ball comes in. Kobe's got it. Above the three-point line, taking a little bit of
Bang! Oh yeah, get that out of here. Ah, Kobe. Ah, it's too easy out here.
Too much is always going to be Kobe Bryant's gift and his curse. There were times it drove both his friends and his teammates away.
I need parts of this. Let me see that. God dang, this is the most points. Well, this is my best build. I ain't even. I knew when I scored 77 in the game. I ain't never did that before in a high school game. That it was my best jump shot. I mean, that jump shot. Archetype. Nah, I didn't know this shit. I got 13 in 1 quarter. Somebody cover him. They need to put me in that point guard.
Kobe Bryant. Hit the remix, baby.
Los Angeles Lakers have made it 3 straight. With Shaq and Kobe, Shaq is the most dominating and precedent-posing force.
Oh, that's not going in.
The scary. They wrap it up in a 4-game sweep by beating the Nets 113.
I know it was bad when Kobe got in trouble. I said, this is a wrap for us. He's one of the most wholesome dudes we had.
Lakers All-Star.
Just gonna skip over that.
Dues after a wreck. Call the police. You need that.
I'm just gonna skip over the whole 2004 season. You already know. Just about to skip over that. Bro, how are we down so bad? I gotta pull a Tracy McGrady.
For when they blame you. Take pictures of the license plate, names to the cars, and then.
Oh, my phone about to die. Dang, boy. You better hit the next free throw. I'm trying to plug in my phone. You better hit it. Oh, he ain't even started shooting yet. Oh, it ain't charging. Oh, there it is. Wow. Oh, hold up, no. What? How my phone just turned back on? Oh, it must have been on the charger. That's why. Or I just hit the reset button instead of the power off button. Oh well. He hit a half quarter on me one time, boy. I was so heated. I left him open for it. I'm like, man, he ain't gonna hit that. Bing. How he get it on read? Pluggy, pluggy, plug, plug. Good for him. Is he gonna make it to the league? Oh yeah, it's time to mount a comeback. I need to score 12 points. Cause he ain't in this. Okay, he is. And I gotta score 14 points. Let me see that. The only person I've seen that can do this. Ha. 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 Size him up with the Kobe. Yes, sir. You already know. Clamp him? Nope. Wow. I hit a 3 just for y'all to let them do that. Me see this? Let me see this. No. Oh, okay. I gotta score the 3 on the next one. Why aren't we full court pressing, bro? This don't make no sense, bro, at all. Why have I never played point guard in this game neither? I done played it in the other couple games. Other two. Nope. Well, I get takeover, that's a different story. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna have to restart this. I can't go out like this. I'm gonna hit another 3 before I restart. Bang bang. Nah, we ain't coming back. Now y'all want a full court press. It's too late now. I can't pull no comeback in that much time.